Welcome to the Coffee with Cheryl podcast, the podcast for women over 50 who want to live their best life right now. Imagine having the courage to reinvent your life financially, professionally, personally, and spiritually. Join Cheryl and guests as they share practical tips and resources to inspire you to achieve the lifestyle of your dreams. So grab your favorite mug. It's time for Coffee with Cheryl.
Welcome to the Coffee with Cheryl podcast, a podcast for women over 50 who want to live their best life right now. I am your host, Cheryl Garrison. I am an author, a coach, I'm a publisher. I am passionate about everything that deals with women over 50. And I am so glad that you joined me on this beautiful Monday with my special guest, Dr. Keshia Tate. And you will meet her in just a little bit. As usual, I hope you have your coffee and I hope you are ready to meet a very, very amazing woman today. But as always, we're going to start with our quote. And actually, I have two today. Some days I have two. The first is, taking care of yourself doesn't mean me first. It means me too. I love that quote when I found it. And also, this is the second. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a little bit. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a little bit, including yourself. And we were just talking, Dr. Tate, about how we had to do some unplugging so that we could come back a little more refreshed.
Yes.
And so I'd like to introduce to you today Dr. Keshia Tate. She is an author, she's an entrepreneur, and she is a naturopathic medical doctor. And if you're wondering how does she wear all those three hats, you'll learn during today how she does it, and she does it very well. Welcome to the show, Dr. Keshia.
Thank you so much. I am so delighted to be here, especially sharing this space with you, Cheryl. You are one of my sheroes. I just love and appreciate and admire what you have done in your community and just giving a voice and a space to women over 50. And unfortunately for me, I'm knee deep into the 50s. So I'm 55. So thank you for creating a platform to celebrate us.
Oh, this is my joy and it's my passion. And I tell people all the time, I started this in my 50s and now I'm knocking on 70. And it's like, what?
Wow, you
Yeah,
look amazing. I had no clue. Wow.
I just turned 68 in June.
Wow, that's amazing.
As we were talking earlier, first I'll go through this and then I'll introduce you or let you introduce yourself. We were talking about time and you mentioned, tell the audience what you told me about the years that we live.
Right. I mean, on average, we are living about to become about 75 to 80 years old, but let's say 75 at the average. And technically and realistically, we have 75 summers, 75 springs, 75 falls, 75 winters. How are you living out those limited amount of seasons? I mean, really, how are we doing that?
Yeah, that blew me away when you said that. Well,
Yeah.
tell us who you are, the ladies. For those ladies who don't know you, tell our audience who you are.
Thank you again. I am a Black woman over 50 years old. I am so passionate about Black women's health in particular. There are so many health disparities that we deal with. So not only, as you've already mentioned, I'm a naturopathic medical doctor. I'm a precision cancer care specialist. And what that means is I have been called to serve that population of people. So I have patients, clients that I deal with from 18 months old, to very older, the elderly, but just dealing with them in a holistic way I am an author and the curator of Revival on the Waters, refreshing retreats for high impact women. I realize that women, we are wearing multiple hats. We're multifaceted. And so it's very important for us as we're getting the bag, we must keep the balance as we nourish ourselves. And I came to the end of myself before, not long ago, and I realized that most of us are just, we don't take time to take care of ourselves.
Right.
We are doing, giving, and becoming every day to the point that it's costing us our lives. And we're seeing the statistics, the alarming statistics as it relates to, the new diagnosis for cancer. It's about 42,000 a year. The diagnosis for 50% of Black women who have pregnancy, post-delivery are dying. I mean, the numbers are startling. And so I've just been asking the Father, how can I serve, that population of people more intentionally? And so that's what I'm doing. And so visionary and also CEO, I like to call it, of Nourish Her, which is a health and wealth line that I just launched during my last retreat. So lots going on, but all in alignment to serve and to use the gifts and talents that I've been given while I'm here.
Yeah. And you have done it very well. I have had the privilege of meeting you a couple years ago and being able to, being a part of one of my journeys. And that was, being a part of one of the collaboration books. And just in that process, we got a chance to get to know each other. And actually, we have some exciting things that we hope to do in the future. So ladies, stay tuned.
Yes.
Now, I think just all the things that you've done, I think one of the things that is most amazing to me when I met you was how and when you became a medical doctor, because this does not happen every day. Tell us about that journey.
What a journey. Let me just start off by saying I was an absolute junk food junkie. And I don't know how many of your viewers are believers, but God does speak. And so I was minding really my business years ago. And again, a junk food junkie, really not conscious about health. Didn't even know what a naturopathic doctor was at the time. And really just heard a very audible voice telling me to go back to school. And at the time, we owned multi-million-dollar businesses. And school, like, I didn't need to go back to school. I didn't need another career. I was good, so I thought. And so as he, knows all things, beginning and ends at the beginning and all of that. So I just, long story short, learned about naturopathic medicine, and it just aligned with who I was becoming. I was becoming more familiar that some of the conventional ways was causing a lot of harm, and maybe in some cases causing more harm than good. And so I just thought there has to be a better way, and this came before me. And right before I was accepted into medical school, I thought I was going to become a registered dietitian. And I had already applied to the master's program. I got all my credits, fulfilled. And when I got to the end, I realized I can't promote people to do the SAT diet, the standard American diet, because that's what I was already doing. And that's not working. It's not good. And so long story short, I learned about, again, naturopathic medicine and the benefits and how we treat the whole person, not just parts of the body, the whole person. And that just rang true to me. And I saw the health disparities from my own family, my mother. I saw how she was diagnosed with COPD, and she was taking probably like 15 different medications, and none of her doctors communicated with each other. The side effects on those medications were like awful. And so it just made sense to me. And so at the tender age of 44, I was like, listen, God, I know you're calling me to this, but I don't know how we're going to do this. And we did it, and I graduated. I took my prereqs for the RD program, registered dietitian program, for about 2 years, and then I was in medical school for 5 years. So a total of about 7.5 years of education to become the person that I am today. Yeah.
And at 49 and a half,
Yeah.
you became this doctor. And so, ladies, remember that it's never too late. And
Ever.
Dr. Keshia Tate is an example of when your heart is calling you to something, or you hear that voice,
Yep.
you have to take the time to listen, because not only will you be able to do it, but if you are a believer, he definitely will help you through it.
Because he's the one that called you in the first place too, as well.
Right.
So he's already equipped us with every single thing we need. We just need to
Right.
walk it out.
Yeah,
So there was something prophetic in that song, Walk It Out. I don't know all the lyrics, so some people may be mad at me, but I just remember that song from back in the day, Walk It Out, Walk It Out. But yeah, so we just got to walk it out and believe and trust that he has us, and he's provided everything that we have need of.
exactly. As you started to bring that entrepreneurial spirit, because prior to going to medical school, you said that you were telling us that you had built multi-million-dollar businesses in real estate and in corporate America. Um,
Yep.
Tell us a little bit how you were able to make that transition and then bring those two worlds together, your medical world and your entrepreneurial world together, and to create some pretty awesome products that you are now promoting in your business. So talk about that for those women who are wondering, how do I take what I used to do and
Yep.
make it into something I can do now?
Yeah, that's an amazing question, and it's certainly been a unique journey. I say I've had 3 careers. I worked corporate America, I did real estate, and now I'm in a medical. We did trucking as well. I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you, but we own big rigs, a fleet of them. So I've had 4 careers, I should say. And so every single thing that we have been through, every single experience, it was all for whatever we're called to do ultimately.
Right.
And so at the time, I'm like, there's no way I could become a doctor. I'm not smart enough. I'm too old. I mean, I haven't had a science class since high school. I've never worked in a hospital. I've never worked in a clinic. I didn't even like the sight of blood. I mean, I gave all of these reasons, there's no way I could do it. I don't have that experience in my background. Nothing relates to medical in my background. I am a junk food junkie. At the time, people were coming to my house if they were in my neighborhood just to go shopping in my pantry. I had a walk-in, fully stocked from floor to ceiling, nothing but the best snacks around. Crappy snacks, but they were the best, And so everything that I had gone through in all of my previous owning, from real estate to corporate America, all of that knowledge, all of those skills have really parlayed into what I do now. I'm an entrepreneur, so I could work for myself. I don't have to go into a clinic because I know how to make money from my own office. I don't have to go and work for a hospital. I could if I wanted to, but I don't have to do that because those skill sets of being an entrepreneur, they translate perfectly into the medical field, because you could you could write books, you could do speaking engagements, you could teach in the college. And so the core of who you are and the giftings that God has given us, they are translatable to any single thing you want to do, period.
That's so true. Ladies, I hope you're hearing that, because it is so, so true. And I can testify to that as well. That's how 50-something lifestyle came together.
Oh,
All
wow.
those years before of doing different kind of businesses. And all of a sudden, all those skills came together. And now it's created my passion, my purpose, the thing I was truly put here to do. And it took all these years to do it.
Isn't it amazing how the streets, sometimes they curve, so at some junctures they're straight, sometimes you go up a mountain, around the block, over the valley, but you get to the final destination, that the culmination of all of those experiences, all of those jobs, all of that education, all of the crying, all of the joy, whatever it is, has brought us to this very moment. I never thought in my wildest dreams, I never desired to become a doctor. I wanted to become a psychiatrist when I was younger, but a doctor to take care of people and to, it was never on my radar. But God, he's the potter, because I'm a believer. That's what I believe. He's the potter, you know, I'm the clay. He's molding us at all times, you know. So all of those experiences are making the 50-something woman that you are today.
Exactly. All you have to do is, first of all, hear it, be still enough to hear, and secondly, have the courage to follow, to not be afraid, because there's so many people who will help you.
That's it right there. That courage. Let's speak about that for a moment, because the courage is the thing that prevents us from doing a lot of the things that we're called to do. Because in my mind, I was not adequate. He didn't ask me if I was adequate. He just said, go do it. He doesn't check in with us. Are you able to do that? Do you feel like doing that? He doesn't consult with the people that are around you. Do you think that Cheryl should start 50-something? He doesn't care about the opinions of others, you know? And so it takes courage to believe that what you feel here, what you sense, what you can't stop thinking about, that you have everything you need to do to go forth in that. That is definitely courage. Definitely. Many days, even after I heard him, I took the first step of courage. I applied to medical school. I had to do some work to get there and to get to accept it there. And then I thought, once I was there, oh, I couldn't have been called to do this, because I still don't have the ability to do it. But it took more courage, a different level of courage. So initially, yes, some courage to apply to medical school, and then to finish the program. Absolutely, I pulled from reservoirs that I didn't even know existed. So yeah, courage is big.
And it's big. And then I know for you, just based on when we did the book, the financial cost, and not letting that stop you, because we all run into those times where I just can't do it. There's too much money, and it's nowhere near the money I know you had to spend to get a medical degree. But we put that barrier there, and it's comfortable to say, well, it's too expensive, so I won't. Talk about how the money just came, even when you had no idea where it was coming from.
Yeah, your questions are they're so profound and just purposeful, for sure, because that is something I hear people say all the time. I can't launch that business. I can't go back to school. I can't because of finances. And let me tell you, when you're called to do something, God will move mountains to get you through. I'm a witness. And I have come through it. Medical school cost $350,000 for me to go to. And I got financial aid all the way up until my 5th year. I was 6 months from graduating from medical school. And guess what? I ran out of financial aid. Because I had filed a $10 million bankruptcy right before I started school, I couldn't get a private loan. I couldn't get any more government loans. And so I was, thinking, Lord, you play too much. This cannot be your will, that I have survived the first year, divorce, second year, a near fatal car accident, third year, on the verge of being kicked out of school because my grades were failing. My sister was diagnosed with cancer. My brother was killed unexpectedly in a car accident. I was exhausted. My credits for every single 12 weeks was 27 to 30 credits every 12 weeks. I was in Arizona on my own. When I started medical school, my daughters were 5 and 8 years old. So all the odds, everything you can imagine. I was told I would never be able to walk again or brush my teeth if I did not have emergency cervical fusion surgery. And so if you want to talk about excuses, I had every excuse to quit. to say the heck with this. I
Right.
do this, God. You put too much on me. I had
Right.
every single excuse. And I came to that point of saying, you know what, this is a wrap, but God. And then in my 5th year, God, I ran out of financial aid. I was $33,000 from graduating from medical school and didn't have a dime. I said, okay. And I found out the day before Christmas Eve, Christmas fell on that that Sunday that year. I found on that Friday after my last term, before my last term, so second to my last term of school, quarter of school, that I didn't have financial aid. And I was like, okay, God. So this is overwhelming. I'm trying to figure out how to provide for my daughters and get Christmas gifts for them. And now I have to figure out how to get $33,000 in 2 weeks. They told me I could not come back to the school if I didn't have the money to do so. And long story short, I got through Christmas and I said, okay, God, what are we going to do? Because clearly you must be trying to show forth your glory to me, because this can't be about me. I've been to hell and back. I got a t-shirt and all kinds of stuff to show for it. What do you want to do? I wrote to Donald Trump. I wrote to Oprah Winfrey. And so in terms of how I made it through and how the finances came together, again, I reached out to all kinds of folks who I thought had money, just trying to gather the money. I started a GoFundMe, and I had 2 weeks to get $33,000. I emailed Donald Trump, Oprah Winfrey, Tiger Woods, you name it, every single day. And I had probably in a week and a half, I had maybe like $3,000. And the Friday before Monday of when I needed the money, I got a phone call from a gentleman. And if I start crying, it just brings me back to purpose, intention, his will, so many other things. And the gentleman said, hey, I heard about your story from a colleague of mine, another doctor, and I am moved to do something. And I just want you to know that I have $35,000. I live here in Gilbert, and you and your daughters can come and pick it up. I would love to meet your family, come and meet my family. I'm a father of 10. I talked to my wife, and we could not sit on the sidelines and watch you get this close to graduating from medical school without doing something. And I fell to my knees screaming and crying, and my daughters thought something happened. Well, it did happen, but not something bad. I just was floored. I could not believe the kindness of someone who didn't have a relationship with me, didn't know me, like he was a physician, but a pharmacist, and how God just used him to be a blessing to me. And in his honor, his legacy, he passed away 2 years ago now. But Jose Dastas, Dr. Jose Dastas, I honor you even today. I'm so grateful for you. And he made a tremendous, sowed a tremendous seed in my life. And that seed will carry on for generations to come. That because of him, I am able to do the work that I do. So, a miracle.
That is indeed a miracle. And there is always there's always someone to help you, or some door that opens.
A ram in the bush.
Yes, exactly. I was just going to say that because I was just studying about that the other day. And so you cannot just look at things and say, I can't do it. I'm too old. I have no money. It's just not the right time, and all those things. You have to make the decision to do it. And then when those things come up, because they are going to come up, to
Absolutely.
be able to say, nothing will stop me, because this is going to happen, because I've been called to do this.
Yeah,
And
just to that point,
love it.
I do too. To that point, I like to say, when we're called to stuff, our job is just to move. Like Peter, he was called, he said, walk. He didn't ask him, what's the temperature of the water? What's the depth of the water? He didn't say that. He just said, walk. And so we have to have faith. It's the same kind of faith we have when we get on the plane. We don't know all the mechanical workings of the airplane, but yet we fly every, as often as we possibly can. We get in the car. We're not mechanics. We trust that everything is going to work the way it's supposed to work. So when he calls us to something, it's really just the enemy in my mind fighting against us to try to talk us out of purpose and what we're really supposed to be doing, because we should get in the car, be the passenger, be in tune to him, and he's going to navigate through all the roads and the path, the byways, the highways, and he's going to bring all the resources and the people and every single thing that we have need of. He's going to meet the need because he already know what we need, because he called us to do it. He knows what we're lacking. You think P.D. Jakes and some of these other amazing, profound people, they have all the giftings? No. Those gifts meet them as they're doing. So we get and become as we're doing the work.
That's true. So true. So true. And I love how you have been able to create some resources for women and men to be able to connect. I know they're mostly for women, but tell us about your products, the things that you are, as an entrepreneur, that you are able to offer women. I know you had mentioned some of the things that you do, so talk about that for a few minutes.
Yeah, thank you. So what I realized that knowledge is power and that we need to have it. And so I can't meet with every client or patient. And so written a couple of books, 3 with yours. And so it's just important for us to read, readers are leaders. Most millionaires are ferocious readers.
Right.
If you want to hide something from people, oftentimes they put it in books. And so we have to take the power and get the knowledge to become healthy and wealthy, and for those self-development. So the Black Family Healthopedia is written for all people, men, women, collaboration with various doctors, talking about health and some of those disparities that we deal with in the Black and Brown community. And then Black Women's Healthopedia. Both of them are #1 bestsellers at Amazon, a collaboration of amazing physicians, Black physicians, talking about the things that matter to us and our communities. Again, the statistics are alarming about post-delivery. 50% more likely to die. Hypertension, 46% of American women over the age of 20 are dealing with hypertension. Let me just give you some of the statistics right quick. On average, white women are more likely to have breast cancer, but Black women are more likely to die. We have a higher mortality rate. For HPV, our mortality rates are double. For HIV, or AIDS rather, 65% more likely to get HIV, and most of the new cases are Black women. We're 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes. I mean, we must arm ourselves with knowledge and or a provider who's not about the money, but who's about purpose and making sure that we live healthy, fulfilled lives. And that is who I am and what I'm all about. And so the other things, during the retreat, I launched Nourish Her, because I just realized that so often we do self-care days, we go get our hair done or our nails done, but we should be doing soul care every day. And there's a difference between self-care and soul care. So I created a non-toxic, high-quality line of herbal teas, organic teas. This is one for menopause, so women over 50. Listen, the flashes are real. I used to hear my girlfriends and family members talking about flashes. I'm like, you guys are tripping. That's not even possible. Well, listen here, at 55, I understand what they're talking about. Oh my gosh. Some of the other things are non-toxic soaps. And then I deal with a lot of high-impact women. They travel a lot for work or pleasure. And so I created spray vitamins. So vitamin C, you can just drop them. These are not open, but you just drop them in your purse, spray 5 times throughout the day. I have some for sleep, because a lot of people are dealing with insomnia. They are stressed out, and and plugged in too much to technology, and
Right.
so having a hard time sleeping. And so this is, melatonin and some other natural substances that will help them relax. Vitamin C and zinc. It's important for us to keep our immune systems
Right.
built up. So I have about 8 different ones from iron. A lot of women, especially Black women, are iron deficient and vitamin D deficient. And so it's very important to get high quality supplements, not something, excuse me,
Off the shelf. Right.
yes, it's
Yeah.
not the same. You want something that is what it says it is.
Right.
I'll never forget, I picked up a supplement before, and I think it said it was echinacea or something. And I looked at the back, I was like, there's not even a stitch of echinacea in here. It has wax and circulose and glucose and everything else except for echinacea. And so it's trickery, and so it's important. And so I'm very passionate about health and wealth, and they really go hand in hand. So it's time for us to prioritize ourselves as we help everybody else. It's time for us to work on ourselves. Even when we're on an airplane, it tells us, hey, in the event of an emergency, put the oxygen mask on yourself. Then you can help somebody. We are so empty. Our cups are empty. We don't have oxygen on, and yet we're still trying to serve people and help people. And that is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for illnesses. So it's important for us to, again, do some soul care. And so that's why Nourish Her is designed for each one of you.
I love that. Now, where can women who, especially me, I want some of that, where can we get those products or go? Do you have a site for people to?
Thank you. My website is being finalized, or it exists, docofhealthandwealth.org. It is being updated to include this new line that has been, yes.
But until then, can they just
reach out to me?
Put in the comments how they can connect with you and get some of these great products.
Yes.
I love to supplement. My cabinet is full of every kind, and I think that's just my husband and I were talking the other day how we've been able to get through the pandemic, and neither one of us have had COVID, and I think it has a lot to do with the supplementation and keeping our immune system so high.
Yeah, 100% is so important. Studies show that women or people in general, for COVID, vitamin D was lacking in almost every single patient who had COVID. It was under the average numbers, and they were lacking in vitamin C and some of the things that help regulate our immune system. So it's very important.
Right. Well, I love those products. And we will put in the comments for those of you who would like to get with Dr. Keshia and get her products. And I think you're also going to offer a free consultation, 15 consultation. So we will put your contact information in the comments as well. What is the best way for people to contact you?
I will put my Calendly in the comment section as well. My calendar for people to be able to click on that link.
Okay, that's perfect. Now, before we close, I want you to talk about this. When I was reading your information, your approach to self-care, and 2 things stuck out to me. First of all, your concept of putting yourself on your own calendar.
Yes.
I loved that when I read that. Talk about that with us in terms of how do we put ourselves first. Sometimes we have this calendar that's filled with all this stuff.
Yep.
None of it is really about us.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have to give credit. I went through a program, and that's where I learned that a couple of years ago. And I was like, what? I've never put myself on the calendar. Like, you could do that? I mean, like, sometimes we have to give ourselves permission to do certain things.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I like that check. So I've been putting myself on the calendar. I have a paper calendar. I have an electronic calendar, and I put myself on the calendar every day. And I do something or nothing, whatever it is that I choose to do. And think about it. We have 24 hours in a day. Let's hope that we sleep 8 of those hours. The other 8 hours, we usually work somewhere.
Right.
And the other time we give to other people. When are we intentional about giving ourselves some time? Whether that's just to sit in your backyard, whether it's to walk in your grass, whether it's to dip your feet in your pool, whether it's to blow bubble, which is one of my favorite pastimes, and roller skating, whatever it is, just do it. You don't have to make excuses, just do it. So when you make your calendar, hopefully you do your schedule every night or whatever, weekly.
Right.
Hey, whether that's at 1 o'clock every day or you want to fluctuate, put you on the calendar. Not a hair appointment, not a nail appointment. That's
Right.
I'm talking about soul care. That's getting centered. That's writing in your journal. That's talking about what you're grateful for. That is you just being intentional about spending time with you. Smiling at you, looking in the mirror. On one of my mirrors, I have all of these star-like things, and I have, you are so loved. You're beautiful. You rock. You are in the cocoon of God's light. You are destined for success. I mean, speak to yourself. You know, sometimes we're always looking for external validations. No, we need to learn how to encourage ourselves, just like David did.
Right.
We have to. So much is going on around us. We can be bombarded with social media and trying to keep up with the Who's and the Joneses and the Kardashians and people I don't even know and don't even care to know. We got to do something for ourselves every day and be intentional about it. So I'll end with this. My daughter had asked me every time we travel and do various things. She's like, "Mom, are you having fun?" And I was like, no, this was years ago. And I'm thinking, do adults have fun? Am I supposed to have fun? Like, she was asking me the question so much. I started like sitting back, really thinking about, girl, when do you have fun? Like, you take life too seriously. You do need to have fun. And so now I'm like, this is fun. I just blew bubbles. She's like, I'm like, I had a great time. We can have fun in our 50s. You don't have to feel like stuffy, like I used to feel like stuffy. And no, I don't have fun. I just enjoy myself. But no, I have fun now. I have fun. I laugh to my side hurts. I am learning, about different recipes and having fun with that. I never have given myself permission to do all those things. But in my 50s now, I am.
That is such a good lesson to really, because we do forget. We get so caught up in the seriousness of life. And we were talking about the illness, especially when we get to this age, the illness is around us and we see our friends and our families going through it. And it can sometimes just bring you to this just point of just despair almost.
Oh, for sure.
And I love that, just to have fun.
Yeah. The other thing I do is I play jacks. I don't know if you know about jacks. Hopefully I'm in good company because I'm with 50 something women, but jacks I absolutely love. So at my retreat, we had the first night was game night after we had a welcome reception. We got pajamas on, we had a PJ party, and we played games. We got on the floor. We had a tournament, a competition with jacks, and every single lady walked away with jacks, and jacks mean so much to me. Last year I was I do workshops and community events and stuff, and I was like, God, what can I leave people with? That's fine, they could buy a book and all that, but what can I do that's so impactful and just brings them some joy? Because I've just been on this joy mission and to be intentional about choosing joy. And so jacks came up and I'm like, jacks, really? So I went on a mission. I drove all around Arizona looking for jacks, bought all the jacks I saw in every store. And then I started going online, buying them all. Guess what? My first event, I sold out of every single pair of jacks. I ended up giving my sample to someone because she was like, oh my gosh. Every single lady that came to the table, they told me about how when they first played jacks, what it meant to them, who taught them, how that brought so many childhood memories to them. And I was like, God, that is just so precious. Who would have thought it?
I'm sitting here now remembering the first
Yes,
time you ride those jacks in that little red ball.
yes. So I'll have to send you some. When I send you a package, I'll send you some Jags. And you got to get on the floor with your grandkids, teach them about, kids don't play these type of games anymore. It's all about, on the phone.
That little thing, right?
But get on the floor. Me and my daughters, we sit on the floor, we play jacks, and it's just hilarious seeing their lack of coordination, and just that is so much fun, and it brings back so many memories. And so I encourage you. 50 something doesn't have to be old. It doesn't have to be, your life is over. Honestly, our life is just beginning.
Just beginning.
Now we have the whole perspective. We're in a really amazing time in our life. This is a time where we can really shift some things and really end with a bang, as we are, transitioning. Age is just a number. We can have so much fun. We can travel. We can play jacks. We can blow bubbles. We can roller skate. I want to know, if I invite you guys to roller skate with me, who will show up? Because that's another thing I absolutely love to do.
I could just see me on the floor, the floor.
I think I may start a 50-something roller skating group.
Oh my.
Roller skating, my 3 favorite things: roller skating, bubbles, and jacks.
Jacks, have a night of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't imagine. But it has been many years since I've been on a roller skate or played jacks or flew bubbles.
Yeah, I think we should do that. I may start a group like that, inspired by you. Just let's have some fun. Let's go back and just tap into that. Yes.
Love that. I love that. I have really, really enjoyed having you on the podcast. You have given so much today, and I believe that, ladies, you'll walk away with some things that will stay with you. And if you just follow some of the advice that Dr. Tate gave you today, you will see a change in your life because, that 75 winters and falls and springs and summers, that's an eye opener. Just think about that.
Yep.
And think about what you can do in your life to just make this day, this precious day, a special day. And thank you, Dr. Tate, for reminding us that we're not here to live our best life tomorrow or 3 years from now. We're here to live it today, right now.
That's right. That's all we have today. It is a gift. That's why it's called a present, because it's a gift to us, Yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity, sharing your sacred space with me. I don't take it for granted. I honor you. I appreciate you. I adore you. I salute you. I celebrate you. And I look forward to doing more work with you.
Yes, let's definitely do that. And ladies, be sure to connect with Dr. Tate, because as you can see, if you are struggling with your health, just struggling with soul care, she has some of the things that can help you to really, really live your best life right now. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.